Hi, Helen. Thank you for all your teachings. I feel I benefited from the silent retreat. It was amazing. I have a lot of fear that comes up still, and I face it. And I ask the question, am I safe? And it's worked for me. But then I found out that I have to have a CT scan and an operation. So this brought up more fear of the treatment and also made me think about death. I asked the question, am I safe, when this thought arises about the treatment? And that leads me to the question, is it true I can die? And my mind says, I don't know. My question is, am I asking the right question? Also, if I realized or self-realized I can't die, will mind know this also? Will mind figure this out also? Thanks. So simplest answer is your mind will never really get this completely. Your mind might always run through certain thoughts when the body seems to be in danger or something happens to the body. Your mind might still go through the same thoughts, but there won't be any negative emotion like fear attached to that. So the fact that there is still some fear coming up for you, you've done a great job with the contemplation asking. And now it's just asking to go deeper here. So if I am safe as the infinite consciousness, as that one being that is everywhere, then whenever I'm suffering, it must be because I'm imagining something to be separate to me. And here, the thing that we're imagining still is separate and outside of me, different to me, is our body. So if I am infinite and everywhere, there can be nothing other than me, nothing outside of me. And this came up for me too. I know I'm safe, but my body still comes in a situation sometimes where it might be in trouble. And I had to really look then at what the body actually is. What is my body really? It seems, it feels like, it acts like, it talks and walks like a body. What is it actually? Is it really something outside of me, separate to me? And this is also part and parcel of what we were saying with the previous question as well. The body is something that I can still see subtly for a long time as being separate to me. I know this, but will my body get this? The mind says. I know I'm safe, but what about my body? Especially when an operation, a CT scan, and there could be something that needs looking at in that. Spiritually, I mean. So if the fear is coming up, it's because the body is still being believed to be a real thing, as in can actually exist outside of, separate to myself, capital S. And that core division of me and other is back again. I'm suddenly a finite, limited being then, because there's two things, me and my body. I've lost only in my imagination, I've lost my infinite nature, and I'll feel some kind of lower vibration, usually fear here. So your mind won't get it at all, and I wouldn't even try to convince it. But the absence of fear here is the experiential understanding that we're looking for. So I would suggest really looking at what actually is your body, really. What actually is it? We know what we think about it. And with the idea that this is a human body comes a whole host of beliefs in aging, illness, disease, life, birth, death. All of those are hanging on this idea that this is actually what I think it is. And even if there is something that happens to the body medically, we can go through that experience without fear. So the fact that fear is still there is just asking this investigation to go a little deeper. We've seen my essence, but I haven't seen that that essence extends to what my body is too, that it's also made of formlessness, silence, consciousness, presence, that this isn't any different. Neither is the chair I'm sitting in or the clothes I'm wearing, the laptop I'm using, all of it. But our body is one area in particular, one object, one phenomenon that we keep perceiving as a real thing, separate to me, different to me. This idea of me and my body is what's bringing up this fear, rather than what's actually medically needing to happen to it. So as the body gets older, you might have to go through investigations, things like that. but there doesn't need to be any fear there with that. So just looking at what you can prove experientially. Can you come to find out really experientially what your body is actually made of? Staying with that question until you come back to peace. And the peace stays even when the body is going through these kind of things. Again, just asking again if you need more help with that. It's a huge area where we all identify still as a separate being. The moment I believe something is other than me, I've lost my infinite nature, seemingly. I'll feel like I have, and I'll be finite and small, and I'll begin to suffer again.